going on, guys? Welcome to the show. This isn't exactly how this is the only thing that I had. I didn't have time to set up the show. I'm actually going to do this real quick. So, I want to talk about what happened today. So, Kansas City had their Super Bowl parade. And I'm not going to get all political. This isn't going to turn into a politics show. So there was gunmen that opened fire at the Union Station where the event was being held. There were 21 people hurt. One person was killed, and 11 of those 21 people were children. So I have family that lives in Kansas City. We're not close. I mean, I probably haven't seen any of the kids that would be in that age group. But I do have family that lives in Kansas City, and they are very huge Kansas City Chiefs fans. I'll tell you how big of fans they are. They're about as big of fans as Packer fans. The good fans. They're not bad fans. They will defend their team. Like my uncle one time said something about the Kansas City Chiefs, and my uncle knocked the shit out of him. And he was a 49ers fan, actually, when he was about... But yeah, so they're very adamant fans. But I do want to say this. I hope all the family that I have down there is safe. Man, Shirley's looking out for you. To everybody else in that city, we have a good friend that lives there. I hope he is safe if they went to the event. Drew, if you don't know, he's a big Kansas City Chiefs fan, and he lives in the general area. So he doesn't live in... But he's a Chiefs fan, and I wouldn't. He's actually a Cowboys fan, but
I was gonna say he's Cowboys through and through.
He might have gone to the event because I know him. He will do things like that. So hopefully he is safe. I should have messaged him to ask him if he was okay. I didn't think about it. But everybody else, to the people that were harmed, our thoughts are with you. It's a travesty that this has to happen, and I'm not going to... This is me as a football fan. I do never, and I know I say some things, but I hold no ill will to any other player or any other fan of football. It's a game. We have to remember that. So, but my point is, somebody who has to come out and do something like this, these are the people... Everybody says, and this is just about the only political thing that I'll say about this, and I've said it a couple of times tonight. People say we need, gun laws. We need common sense gun laws.
Well, we need insane asylums back.
That too. The problem, we've talked about this numerous times. Mm-hmm. The problem is, the question is, what are common sense laws? Like what? You're going to say guns are illegal? Okay, criminals don't care. And they've taken away the mental institutions. Our world is crazy right now. And I hate to fucking say this. Ever since the fucking COVID and George Floyd thing fucking happened, our country seems to be... gun shootings have been happening for years, and they're never normal. It's not normalized, and I do hear it. It is for some reason it's normalized now. But I can tell a lot of people, though they say, well, we've never had to do live shooter things. When I was in school, we did.
I never had to.
We did. I remember, and I'm older than everybody here. But again, I get it. But now is not the time to talk about gun laws. Time is to focus on, let this pass. Yes, we need to do something, but that's for the people in Washington to work on. That's why we put these people in office. They're not doing anything about it. So what is that telling you? Get people in there that do. And I understand, but you can't take guns away from people. You can't. Everybody, it's an amendment. You can't do it. Now, that being said, there's ways to vet. The key word is vetting. Common sense gun laws are great, but what are they? That's all I'll say. You guys got any thoughts?
No, pretty much said everything that I'd say.
Heather? Nothing?
This isn't a gun issue. This is
a people.
It's a mental health issue.
And it's a people issue. It's not a fucking gun issue. Okay? And no, it's not mental health. There's a huge difference between mental health and mental illness. Health and illness are inclined with each other, but I learned this out in San Diego. They are two totally different things. Mental health is not somebody that's going to go off and shoot somebody. Mental illness is what caused this. Not health. Mental health is clearing your mind. Just, illness comes after the health declines, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
So it's not, they're two terms are intertwined, but they don't mean the same thing. That's all I'm getting at. She's right, but not in the right context, if that makes sense.
Did they apprehend the guy?
So they have been apprehended, at least 3 of them. I don't know how many there were. So they did get apprehended. That's as far as we've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is all coming off of a Super Bowl win for the city. So our thoughts and prayers are with you.
Yep.
Maybe NFL should think about letting Green Bay and some other teams win a Super Bowl. How about Carolina? How about Carolina? One time.
I just had an idea. And now how Philadelphia can get more money.
What?
Renting out their police. Because it doesn't matter what win or loss they do, their fucking city riots anyway. And they're still standing somehow.
True.
So that's like half the cities in Canada after win or lose a Stanley Cup final.
They're not.
They will still riot.
You didn't unmute them, so nobody has heard Tim or Rayshawn.
Hold on. Say it again, Tim.
That's like half the cities in Canada. Win or lose, they still riot after the Stanley Cup win or loss.
Yep.
Yep. So there's that. If anybody, my thoughts and prayers are with them. There's not much I can do for them. I do know
anybody can do
Tanya. I wonder if she went to that thing. I should check and see if she's okay. I got a friend that I work with she's a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan. So our thoughts and prayers are with them. So stay safe, Kansas City. So we had a Super Bowl this past weekend.
How?
And we'll talk about we'll talk about there's some news that not only with the shooting, but there's been some movement on some teams. And I'm going to fucking laugh about it because I think it's the dumbest fucking move. This is the problem with this fucking organization. And I'm talking about San Francisco's. So the Super Bowl started out, and I know me and Tim will get into what we saw the last 17 minutes of the football game. Because our stream went to Kabuki. So we ended up just watching the rest of the game, and Tim and I will talk about it.
What the hell was that?
You could have waited until I was done talking.
I didn't want to.
I will take it away from you.
I just wanted to do it. That's all. I'm good now.
That's what I thought. So, first quarter started, and San Francisco, they drove down the field, but then Christian McCaffrey fumbled. That turned the ball over. Kansas City got the ball. Kansas City did not move the ball at all in the first half, except for the final 2 drives, I think. Well, no, they were starting to drive, and then they fumbled. Yeah. And then San Francisco drove down the field, kicked a field goal. Kansas City could not move the ball in the first half until like the last 3 minutes of the second quarter. And they didn't score until the final minute of the second quarter to make the score 10-3. First half was about what I thought it would be, because I thought like both these are the 2 top defenses in the league. And then both defenses played like it. I will say that. San Francisco had Mahomes flustered. I wouldn't say flustered, because he looked pretty calm. He looked out of sorts, I suppose you could say. He couldn't do what he wanted to do. They couldn't run the ball. San Francisco moved a little bit. They scored 1 touchdown, and that was pretty much it. They did have that nice little trick play for that touchdown to make it 10-3. There was I think Tim and I, this is the night of the argument between me and Tim was...
The night of the argument?
You know it. Me and Tim argued about fucking penalties as the stream was going on, because was it in this quarter? Was it in
There was a horse collar in the second quarter.
Well, I disagree with the horse collar. That's the dumbest fucking rule in the book anyway. Because a horse collar fucking guy gets tackled from behind, and it's a dumb fucking rule. It's a dumb fucking rule, and I don't fucking care to talk about it anymore. But wasn't there that one where you said that was pass interference? Or was
it was on Debo.
Oh, that deep pass?
Yeah, it could have been pass interference.
No, it couldn't have been. Tim, you're just listen, because you're wrong. Whoever was covering him, and I think it was L'Jarius Sneed, he had turned his head before Debo did.
Yes, that's not the part that I'm talking about. He hooked his arm, though, is what I'm saying, to prevent it from coming up. That's a tough one for the referee to see, though, also.
By NFL rule, if he has his head turned, he's going for the ball. They aren't fucking worried about whose arm is hooked on who.
And that's where Ravens got fucked over with that, because of the fact that...
Well, that was that refereeing crew. They called it right on this play. There was just because he had his arm hooked, he was looking back at the ball. It don't fucking matter. He's going for the ball. Incidental contact. That's the rule. So, but other than that, nothing really happened in the first quarter. Right?
Nah.
The world's most boring Super Bowl
I loved
at the beginning.
I love that kind of shit. It had you on the edge of your seat, because you're thinking, if you're Kansas City, what are you going to do? See, that's why I like that. That's why I like defensive struggles, because I can coach both teams. The second quarter started. Kansas City got the ball, and Patrick Mahomes threw an interception. Right? Yeah. San Francisco couldn't do anything. The second quarter, the first half was pretty boring. It was back and forth.
It was more defensive than offensive first quarter.
No, that was the start of the third quarter. I'm sorry. But the halftime score was 10-3.
Mm-hmm.
Second quarter was pretty... whatever. There was nothing really. Kansas City drove towards the end there. Finally got 3 points on the board. Halftime happened. Halftime show wasn't too bad. We came back. Third quarter. That's when Kansas... I'm trying to remember. So I'm
Kansas
looking at you.
started to wake up in the third quarter, but it was
yes, but what caused them to wake up was Patrick Mahomes threw an interception.
I think Patrick Mahomes ran the ball.
No. This was to start the third quarter. Patrick Mahomes threw an interception on the first drive.
Oh, he threw an interception.
Yep, and
They
then
got the ball
San
back.
Francisco got the ball. They didn't do anything with it, which is pretty much the whole game. Neither one could do anything except for moments. Kansas City then gets the ball back, drives down the field. They kick a field goal, and that's running the ball. Patrick Mahomes. I think I said it at this point. San Francisco better figure it out because I think Patrick Mahomes figured out how to beat this defense.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's right in front of you.
so then I don't know what your problem is. I don't know what is going on. Hey,
Go back to your show. I'm good.
you sure?
Yeah.
I don't know. She has that look on her. I'll fucking slap you across the face. But third quarter, Kansas City started figuring things out. I think they started. In fact, I think they figured out how to beat San Francisco. It was just whether or not the defense. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's the quarter. I think San Francisco missed the field goal attempt.
Nope.
No.
That's in the fourth quarter. So they didn't miss
Yeah.
field goal.
Okay.
They missed an extra point, but it was blocked.
Gotcha.
The San Francisco 49ers get the ball back. They go on a little bit of a drive, and then they have to punt. Kansas City gets the ball. They have to punt. San Francisco muffed a punt. And that's really when things shifted. And what did I say? I think the floodgates are going to open in the fourth quarter. It kind of did. So on the very next play, Kansas City scores a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes hits Marquez Valdez-Scantling for I don't even know how many yard touchdown it was. Like a 12 or 13 yard touchdown. Third quarter, things started picking up. I think the emotion, both teams were riding a wave of emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it? That's all you got is
Uh-huh. No, yeah, I agree that especially early on, San Francisco was especially emotional early on with the game showed how unprepared they were for the level of the Super Bowl when they were there. Kansas City knew to temper themselves so that they didn't.
So
energy.
I do want to talk about that, and I know Heather pointed it out as well.
Pointed it out. I'm sorry.
The game, San Francisco, and how chippy they were.
Both sides were getting chippy.
Well, I think the Chiefs were responding to what San Francisco was doing, and I do understand the whole concept of the first man that retaliates gets flagged, right? We had a discussion during the game where I said, how about this? You want to fucking stop the chippiness and the punching and the slapping and the hitting? Flag them both. Do what they do with unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Each team gets one. Now, I understand if it's taunting, yeah, that person should get unsportsmanlike conduct. But again, flag both of them. It's just don't give them, just throw a flag and say this is your first offense. There's no 15-yard penalty. Right?
That's your first warning. And
if it's a singular penalty, when it's a penalty like that, unless the referee's looking right at it, and you could tell that Ayuk was pulling him away to be a dick.
Ayuk was pulling him up off the fucking ground by his jersey.
Yeah.
Well, and then he kept fucking pulling him, and L'Jarius Sneed turned around and fucking smacked
his
him.
hands away.
I fucking would have done this. Get your fucking hands off me. You know? And the ref drew the flag and flagged Kansas City. I disagree with that.
I do too.
That's where that rule needs to. Both of them need to be flagged. They each get a fucking warning the next time they're fucking done, no matter what the fucking penalty is. You know,
Yeah, Baltimore had the same issue.
I know.
Going into the Chiefs game.
I agree. They happened to them twice.
Yes.
So that's where I stand on that, and they kind of were still trying to. They were way too fucking excited. They lost Greenlaw because that guy couldn't get his emotions under control, and he apparently tore his Achilles.
Yep. Tore his
Something.
Achilles going onto the field after the half.
Yeah.
He didn't even get to play in the second half.
Nope.
And that was part of the reason why Kansas City... Because I think if Greenlaw was in there, those little runs by Patrick Mahomes probably wouldn't have been as big or worked at all. But once he went down, that was all she wrote.
Yeah.
They
And I
were
think something happened to Kittle a little bit.
They were way too hyped, man. They were way too hyped for this game. I get being hyped, but man, save some energy. And I said this during the thing. Save some energy because you're going to need it or you're going to get hurt. Bam! It happened. See,
They
told you.
both ends. They needed it and they got hurt.
Kansas City didn't. I mean, yes, they had that couple of times where they didn't, but they didn't fucking stomp around like they just won the fucking Super Bowl. Right? Like every time they made a fucking play, they were fucking celebrating like they just won the fucking game.
Oh yeah, part of that is I think that's ingrained in the NFL culture.
No. It was the game that they were playing.
Yeah,
I've never seen watching San Francisco when they play Green Bay. Never once, or in any of the games, never once did I see them get this hyped up. Yeah, they would do the little, the rawr, but they wouldn't fucking run around like they just won the fucking Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying. What?
My nose still hurts from earlier.
Oh, yeah, Wendy got headbutted by Mo.
No.
Or Heather got headbutted by Mo today.
Damn.
Because Wendy was being a shit.
And you started yelling, which scared him.
Well, I was done talking.
And you yelled at him more, and he was hiding behind me because you were scaring him that much, which made the whole thing worse.
By that point, I was done talking. So,
Mo used headbutt like a Pokemon.
the fourth quarter, I kind of don't remember the fourth quarter. I've watched it, but I think there was 2 touchdowns by each team, right?
Yeah, this is where they got tied.
There was one touchdown
okay,
by
so
each team.
I think Kansas City took the lead. Then San Francisco scored a touchdown.
And they had the PAT blocked.
They had the PAT blocked,
Yep.
which I thought the score was going to be 19-17.
It turned up 17-17.
Right. But no, it turned up to be 16-16 because Kansas City was down by 3 now. And they ended up kicking a field goal. So the 19-16, 19-17 game, not too bad being 1 point off. Because I didn't think San Francisco was going to be able to move the ball. And then San Francisco came down and kicked a field goal. And that they scored with like a minute and 50 seconds to go. This is when the game got really exciting and pretty good. And our stream had died once and we had come back, and I think we got to this point in the game and our stream died.
Yeah.
Now, I'm watching this, and this is about the time that Tim fucking brought up, I'll hold till the day I die, that fucking, Tim, you're picking a fucking fight, you're not going to fucking win. The fucking penalty. We argued about the fucking penalty that was called in the first quarter.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not going to win, so stop arguing. So anyway, I mean, I get why they threw the flag, but again, or why they would have, but they didn't, which was the right call. after the 2-minute warning, I'm like, Kansas City. What did I say to you, Tim? I said, remember what happened in the fucking Super Bowl? Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl. He drove Kansas City or New England down the field to kick a field goal to win the game. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes has to drive, which is harder? Driving to win the game or driving to tie the game?
I think driving to tie the game is harder than...
You can make that the argument driving to tie the game, yeah.
You can't make an argument. You can't sit here and fucking honestly tell me that kicking a field goal to win the game is as hard as...
It could be. It's
how?
Just about the same pressure. It's pressure.
No, it's not. Because if they don't drive down the field and they don't score, it goes to overtime.
And that's where that was a conclusion I had drawn. I had gotten to also on my own.
Right. So you can't say kicking a field goal to win a game is harder to do or more pressure, I should say.
In today's NFL, I will give you that, yes.
I think in any era.
Wait, you was talking about, because your question was broad, and then you brought it to the Super Bowl. So I answered with a broad...
In any situation. So not even just the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter what it is. I think kicking a field goal to tie the game puts more pressure on the offense
if you screw up
than it does if it's tied. Because if it's tied, they go to overtime.
Yeah.
But they still, the game's not over. They still have an opportunity to win.
Exactly.
Yeah. And now the pressure is to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if San Francisco would have scored a touchdown, Kansas City would have gotten a chance to try to tie. That's the new rule.
I think they got stopped in the overtime. Both teams got to have possession of the ball.
Unless it's a defensive touchdown.
A defensive score, yeah.
Correct. Because both teams would have then touched the ball, and that would have ended the game.
Unless it's
either way, I think there's more pressure on the offense to score when they're behind to tie or win. Being down in that situation. If it's tied, there's really, yes, there is some semblance of pressure, but there isn't as much pressure on the offense because they have to execute every single play. Every single play. You can't, and that's why it's more pressure. You can't just say, we'll come back to that. You do see players do that. It's because, they're really good at what they do. And I'm talking like your Aaron Rodgers, your Patrick Mahomes, your Josh Allen's, you know what I mean? Your Tom Brady's, those kinds of players. Russell Wilson can do it at times.
Now, when that offense fails, then you put so much pressure on the defense to stop them to even get to the 40-yard line.
Okay. What are you
what if they fail?
What are you getting at?
I'm just saying.
No, I'm not talking about offense versus defense. I'm not talking. Yeah, there's the same amount of pressure on the defense. I would say that the pressure is a lot of the pressure is on the fucking defense because they're trying to stop the team from scoring. Yeah, that's a whole different pressure. So I'm talking about offense versus offense here. One being ahead and one being tied and one being behind. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So Kansas City, like I said, Patrick Mahomes just fucking won up Tom Brady in the fucking Super Bowl. They ended up kicking a field goal, tying it, taking it to overtime. San Francisco. Now I want to talk about that because I kind of agree with what Fred Warner did. Because there's really no winning the toss and then going on defense. What if they score a touchdown? I wouldn't do that. What he did was right. We'll take the ball. We'll score. We'll force them to fucking try to beat us.
Yeah.
I don't think he was wrong in either way on the coin toss.
Yeah, you're either...
Because
people were saying that he was wrong, like, because... And they're saying it because it's a different rule set. It's like...
But the point is...
I'm not saying he was wrong.
No, what I'm saying is San Francisco scores a touchdown.
You're forcing
score the touchdown. You're forcing Patrick Mahomes to drive the length of the field to score a touchdown to win the game. Or tie it again. And they have to, because now it becomes sudden death.
And then you have the ball back and you can win it now with a field goal.
Yep, you can't do anything with the field goal.
No, what I'm saying is you score the touchdown, you force Kansas City to come back and score a touchdown. You get the ball back and you can then win with a field goal.
Yes, that's the other flip of the coin. You confused me. You were talking about what exactly I said, and then you...
Yeah, I was probably saying the same thing, but worded differently.
That's probably what's happening.
So you're saying all San Francisco did is force them to drive down the field, score a touchdown, right? Can't kick field goal. Because if you kick field goal game, you can't. You got to try for the touchdown. You're not even going to attempt a field goal.
What I am saying is, you take the ball, you score a touchdown.
Tim, go ahead. Go ahead.
Take the ball, you score a touchdown. That forces the opponent to have to score a touchdown.
Yes.
After that, you get the ball back.
No. Nobody gets the ball back. They don't.
Then how the game ends in a tie then?
This game will never end.
In the Super Bowl, they would get the ball back.
I know what they do in the Super Bowl. Both teams get a possession no matter what.
Yes, and then if both teams score touchdowns on their first possession,
yes,
the next one they have to give them the ball. All you need is a field goal to win.
I thank you, Tim. We
that's
know that.
What he was talking about.
And that's fine, but we don't even need to go there.
I got a popsicle headache.
Jesus Christ. We don't even need to go there. We'll get there if we would have gotten to that point.
Yeah.
Damn. Man, you're doing it to me again.
He's just explaining it for
I know what he's
not for you. So if you just shut up and let him explain it.
But he didn't need. My point is that didn't need to be explained, and I do get. He is right. Everybody, he is right. Each team gets a possession. If nobody scores, or if both teams score the same amount of points, they then have to it becomes sudden death. Done. Got it. He's right. So Kansas City has. San Francisco drives down the field. They end up having to kick the field goal. And if it wasn't for Chris Jones, who I think is the defensive player of the game in this game, in my opinion, if he doesn't get pressure on Brock Purdy and Juwan Jennings doesn't run the wrong route, San Francisco
wins.
No. San Francisco would have then scored a touchdown, which forces Kansas City to then have to score a touchdown. So Kansas City gets the ball. They end up kicking a field goal. There is a couple of things I do want to talk about with the field goals because it was kind of fucking funny. And it's just the epitome of the night. It epitomized the entire night. And I didn't know this until later. Kansas City gets the ball. And there was and what did I say, Tim? This game's over.
Yeah.
Because Patrick Mahomes is just going to drive right down the field, and he knows what he needs to do. And everything that Patrick Mahomes did happened. It was all Patrick Mahomes on that drive. And they score on the very next it's like under a minute to go.
Yeah.
Oh, with 6 seconds left.
With 3 seconds left. Yeah, yeah. I mean...
And they did it with a trick play. Right.
I mean, it was just kind of. I mean, it had fucking San Francisco fooled, but it wasn't a trick play. It was just it's a little rollout. It's that play I always run on the goal line in Madden. The guy,
and then I hear you go, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Well, that's the fucking defense when I'm on defense. No, when I'm on offense, I know it. You don't hear me bitch too much.
Mm-hmm.
No, offense you don't. But so there's that. And I thought this was one of the best Super Bowls I've seen. The top 5 for me. And I've seen 51 of them. I've seen every single Super Bowl.
Damn.
I've seen it, but I haven't watched it from the time I was born. I've seen because they're so NFL Network used to play all, and they have all of the games on. They have
on
all
demand.
of the games on. No, not on demand, but they have them on the network during Super Bowl season. So I've seen all of the Super Bowls, all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like a 24/7 stream, some shit like that?
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
But it's not the old NFL film stuff. It's the actual game itself.
Yeah, they show it in like a
They used to. Now Tubi has a channel called Super Bowl Classics, and they show every single Super Bowl. I might have to rewatch some of the Super Bowls because them older Super Bowls I remember are great.
They're super violent.
But they're fucking great. Like people fucking. The guy gets hit and his helmet goes flying, and then the fucking guy that tackled him steps on his face. It's fucking great, man. That was the NFL back in the day, and he didn't get flagged for it.
No, because there was no rule against it.
Well, they're like, okay, you step on your face, but I'm going to step on yours later, and that would happen. Yeah. That's why in the NFL back then they were tough. But for me, this Super Bowl is right up there. Top 5. And anybody that thinks that this was a bad Super Bowl is just a 49ers fan that's angry that their team lost because they couldn't fucking finish. Like I said, they couldn't. That's all I'm saying. Thoughts? Heather? What are your thoughts? You've seen a few Super Bowls.
I've seen a few of them.
Where does this rank for you?
It's one of the better ones. I wouldn't say it's top for me.
Ooh. Okay.
I mean,
you would if it was Baltimore, it'd probably have been the greatest game you've ever fucking seen.
Depending on how they played, yes. But
what if they were the team that beat San Francisco 25-22 in the last seconds of overtime?
Considering they beat San Francisco fucking 30-something to 10.
19.
Not that he's counting.
Right. I don't think the Super Bowl would have been that much of a different story.
Okay.
No, actually one of my favorite Super Bowls is, because my friends and I joking around, we are entrusting the defeat of Tom Brady to a 12-year-old little boy in Eli Manning.
If we weren't together and I was living here alone and I wasn't streaming, I would have been jacking off during this moment. This was a really fucking good game. I'm serious. I
actually on board with Heather with the
oh man.
Giants beating
It was.
the
I'm not
Patriots.
saying I'm not saying it was a bad Super Bowl. It's not in
man.
my top
I
5.
don't know, man.
It's not my top 3 anyway.
You know what it is, JP? You're a very defensive guy. I mean, defensive.
No. No,
I
I'm
didn't even
thinking.
think of
No, just hold on. I wasn't thinking defensive. This was overall a really good game. I think on all phases of the game. I'm not saying just defensive. Go ahead though.
Nah, but I was saying like I do agree with Heather with the Giants and Patriots Super Bowl. I think that was more of like a heartfelt game and a much needed win. She said that
the Giants and Patriots.
That was one of her favorite Super Bowls.
The one where the Patriots lost to the Giants?
Yeah.
when the Giants were 8-8 and Patriots were 18-0.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, that was a pretty good game. Yeah, no, I'm not saying it wasn't. It's up there for me.
And I'm saying the same thing for this.
It's
not my top favorite,
this game
but it's
is
up there.
I think this game is better than that game. I think the game where the Patriots beat the Rams, the first time the Patriots won a Super Bowl. Yeah, first time.
1.
Thank you, Tim. I mean, it's not as good as this.
Well, I was in that was 2001. World Trade Center happened. I was in 4th grade. I was not watching football.
Okay.
Oh my God, Joby.
I was into basketball.
In 2001, you were 14? Yeah.
No, I was in 4th grade.
Yeah, you were 10.
Oh my God.
It's 2001. I was 16.
Okay.
That's what you were thinking of.
2001, I was 29. I don't know.
I was a sophomore in high school.
2000, well, it's 28 actually. I was actually, what was I? Oh, I was sitting on my couch getting drunk. So, okay. But yeah.
I mean, was it a good game? Sure.
Oh, come on, man. That was a really good game. No, that you can't. Oh, was it a good game? Sure. No, it was a really. No, it was a. This was a really. If that was not a good game to you, I don't know what is a good game.
I didn't say it wasn't.
But the way you said it, I don't know, man.
Because what do you want me? I don't. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Say what you about to say. I don't give a shit about both of those teams. So
Me
I was
neither.
watching it. Yeah, I understand that. But I was trying to watch it as a football fan. I was trying my best. And I just wasn't invested.
I get it. I just disagree. I don't. As if you're going to be a football fan, and I'm not saying you're not, because I think you are, or else you wouldn't watch football, right?
Right.
I think you pick a team and run with it, and you did. San Francisco, and I think that's why you're upset because San Francisco
Not really.
didn't win.
I'm not upset. I mean, because at the end of the day, I mean, you get what you get from that team with an offense like that, and he just was crumbling, and they need to fix their offense on this off season.
Apparently, they don't need to fix their offense, but they need to fix their defense for some reason. But anyway, go ahead.
Definitely need to fix their coaching.
Something. I don't know, like.
Yeah, I get why you already answered. I mean, you're good. I accept that answer, but I get it because there are some games where I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. But that's when I'm really invested in a game, really invested. Where I don't, if you have ever, and I will say some things, but Heather can vouch for this. Unless when my team isn't playing, I won't say too much. I mean, I'll say, why did they run that play there? What are they doing on fucking defense? But I'm not like pacing around the fucking house, stomping my fucking feet, hitting the furniture. I'm just sitting there watching the game. My team's not playing. I get it.
Like I could watch I could watch two other teams go at it and generate insights on why why they went and did that play and blah blah blah, and see how everybody else played and compare that on the side against Philadelphia.
Right.
But I could watch two teams go at it. It's just those two in particular. 49ers in Kansas City, like I was just already sick and tired of hearing their name throughout the season. I'm sick of hearing Brock Purdy. You already know I'm sick of that Mahomes and his squad because of what they did to us last year, but whatever. But I'm just sick of those two teams, and that was just it.
I hear you. I do.
I'm just so glad that it's past us. It came, it went, and we could start a new year, and hopefully we get two different teams In the
You know,
2025 Super Bowl.
well, that's up to the other 30 teams and what they do.
That is correct.
So we can't blame. Look, we can't blame San Francisco for doing what they've been doing. I'm just gonna sit there and laugh at them in the future because it's not very bright. It's not as bright as they think it is going to be. Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes is gonna end up being the best quarterback I probably have ever seen play the game.
And that's fine, and I'm glad.
In this era,
I'm sorry, Tim.
No.
We'll get into that in a minute.
No. Patrick Mahomes, by the time his career is over, for me, he will probably be the greatest quarterback I have ever seen play the game.
Damn.
I've been around football for almost my whole life. And I'm 51. I'm 51. So that tells you everything you need to know. That's what I think of Patrick Mahomes, and he's not even a Packer.
I separated out in 2 eras. I cannot change that. I separated into eras.
How?
The rule sets. The rule sets prior to 2006.
Who's the greatest quarterback? All right, Tim, we're going to talk eras. Who's the greatest quarterback in the 1920s?
1920s? I don't even know.
Okay, so I'm talking about quarterback I have ever seen play the game. I don't give a fuck what era it is. Patrick Mahomes can play in any fucking era. He, to me, will always be, or will be unless something happens. He will be probably the greatest quarterback. Now, did you hear what I said? Probably the greatest quarterback I've ever seen play the game. I don't care what fucking era it is. That's how good this kid is.
Well, you've always said that you can't really call anyone the greatest of all time.
I'm talking about for me, Tim. I said me.
I'm going to argue against you because I want to.
Go ahead, but you're... Why?
You sit there and say for you, but then you start yelling at him when he has his own opinion.
And but he's talking about me, and you say if that's what you say, fine, but don't say that I'm saying that because that is probably
he's
not
saying
true.
he separates it in eras because that's how he knows it.
Yeah, the rules changed from 2006 on that heavily favored the offenses.
And that's fine. But you're going to honestly sit here and tell me you don't think he can play in that era? In the 1920s?
No, I was talking about how rough he was.
Come on, man.
But he wouldn't have anywhere near the success because back then you could lay the shit out of him.
Okay.
In today's NFL, you cannot do
that.
That
doesn't mean he can't take a hit. They just don't allow quarterbacks to get hit. That doesn't mean
ever know.
I've seen him take a hit.
Yes, but not to the degree
I disagree. I think the game is faster now than it was in 1925.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were way more physical because they were.
And there's also a hell of a lot more padding now than there was back then.
Again, yes, you are correct. However, I don't give a fuck what era you're in. If you can take a hit, you can throw a ball like... I guarantee it, if he was playing in that era, they'd be like, God damn, this motherfucker could throw. Let's just throw it until they fucking learn how to defend it. I'm telling you, coaches didn't do it back then. But I hear coaches that are fucking 90 years old that fucking say that. Like, I wish I had this kid when I was coaching. I probably would have changed the game before anybody did. That's what they're saying about this kid. That's why he's probably, in my time, gonna be the greatest quarterback ever. In my time. Now, somebody else might come along, but good fucking luck. That's...
I think it's going to be C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud, but he's only a rookie.
That's fine. If he's playing like this as a rookie, then
The sky's the fucking limit, right?
He may surpass Mahomes a lot faster than
But I
Mahomes
don't-
is expecting.
I
You.
mean, I'm hoping I'm here. Probably I might be here if we'll get to that point, but he's only a rookie. Do I see shades of it? Shit, yeah. 100%. Because I've told Heather, this kid's going to be as good as Patrick Mahomes is. Will he get there before I leave this world? We'll see. That's all I'm saying. And I get what Tim's saying.
So, Tim, the last era, who was the best quarterback of that era?
I'd put it at Aikman, really.
Aikman?
That era, yeah, he won at least. Didn't he won at least 3?
He wasn't as good of a quarterback. Now, I'm being a homer here, and Troy Aikman will tell you this.
Come on, Mo. I need to
Yes, Troy Aikman had the talent, but Troy Aikman will tell you that Brett Favre was better than he was.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for championships also.
However, I know I get it. However, I would honestly throw Joe Montana in that era.
Yeah, you could. I agree. And
Now, you could
I was cutting off a little right before Montana.
maybe throw Aaron Rodgers in that era.
The rules were different for quarterbacks back then.
I'll keep talking. I'll break.
And he ran away.
No, I think he said.
I'll be right back.
I know. What was I saying?
I just Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
You said the rules was different back then. What
Yeah,
was that,
so-
like 2000.
2006, there were several rule changes that went into effect for offenses in general. Most specifically, they brought in the illegal contact downfield penalty, which basically allowed you couldn't touch a defensive player past 5 yards down the field. And it was also at this time that offenses started to get more run and gun style and whatnot. Made it so much easier for offenses to put up points than it is nowadays, than it was before. You almost never had 30-point games prior to 2006. You had them, yes, but not to the degree that you have them now.
Now, do you think any of this played what do you call it fantasy football played a part of the changing of the rules and shit like that, and the high scoring games?
Back then, fantasy football wasn't the force that it is now. But as the NFL has discovered that fantasy football is a big-time moneymaker, they have lent the rules towards the offenses time and time again, and defenses continually get screwed with the rule changes.
Yeah, they do. Don't have children.
The game. I mean, obviously, I wasn't watching football in that era, but as you already know, the game changes and progresses. You get new players, you get new players trying to play the game differently. Like basketball. Basketball is so annoying to watch now because everybody will go for threes instead of taking it to the.
Well, basketball is fucking all about the superstars now. It don't matter if you're a small-time player. Big names get all the shit.
Basketball is a superstar-driven league. If you do not have one of the top 8 players on your team is irrelevant.
It's pretty pathetic now.
Sorry, guys. Wendy's being difficult.
Yeah, we were told never to have children.
Wendy, she's just being difficult. She doesn't want to lay down. She's just in meltdown mode. She's been in meltdown mode the last couple of days. Where were we now? Real quick. What were you guys talking about?
We pretty much finished it.
We were just discussing the progression of the league, how it changed for different generation.
Oh, again, the generations. It was just it's.
I'm about to try to.
It's about the game got faster.
Yes.
Players got more athletic. I don't think anything's really. The concepts of football haven't really changed.
Concepts of football haven't changed.
No,
but
the speed of the game, sure.
And the rule sets have changed.
But that's a progression of things. Honestly, if you think about it, if you look at football, it's just a progression. I don't think the rules have anything to do with the change. I really don't. If you're talking penalties and stuff, nothing's really changed. Late hit. There's always been the late hit on the quarterback.
Yes, but it was never called to the degree that it's called nowadays.
I mean, I understand that, but that is fine. I don't think the game is. I mean, yes, the game has changed, but I don't think it's changed that drastically. I mean, come on, man. They were really physical back in the day. I'm gonna sit here and fucking tell everybody right now. A lot of these players today can take it. It's just player safety because the game has gotten so fast. You see offensive linemen. You never, when I was growing up watching football, you never seen an offensive lineman run a 4.9 40. No. Now, it's on the fucking regular. You're seeing offensive linemen. I've seen a few offensive linemen actually run like a 4.6, 4.7.
Yeah, I have too.
And that's freaking fast. That's faster than most people. They're just really good athletes now. And that's where the game has gotten. It's all about speed. Mm. But I do agree to an extent. Yes, rules have changed, but I think a lot of these guys today can play in. Back then, name me one player that can play in today's game that played back then.
In 20s, I don't even know anyone who played back then.
I'm talking in any era up to now. I don't think the guys that played in the era with Aikman and Emmitt Smith and them, I don't think they could keep up with these guys. You put Kansas City could play that game. That's how it's evolved. I'm telling you, that's how it's evolved. Can Kansas City play? Yes, they can. They can play in any era. Patrick Mahomes can play in any era. But I don't know if the game's changed enough for me to say that none of these guys could. Does that make sense to anybody?
No, yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm not saying you're wrong or whatever. It's a preference, but I can argue all day that Patrick Mahomes. I hear your argument all the time. I don't think this guy could play back in the day. I guarantee he fucking could. He'd be bigger than everybody else. Because back then, offensive linemen weren't 315 or 320 pounds. They were about the size of Patrick Mahomes. Not very big. So, there's that. The only other piece of news that I got, and I kind of want Heather in here, so if there's anything you guys want to talk about real quick, go ahead. You know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do what I did the other night. We'll be right back. Just a second.
Okay.
Surely I have heard about his father. The dead 3. He's upstairs.
Don't know why he did that when I fucking had it handled, but what the fuck ever. Because I don't know what I'm doing. Oh. Oh, this child. Oh, man. There's still something else he wants to talk about, but what were you talking about while I was getting screamed at by my own child?
No, we had just finished up with the errors talk.
Oh, we were still on that?
Yeah.
He doesn't argue.
Okay.
We good now?
I think so.
Look, just tie her to a ceiling fan and spin her around for 100 times.
I didn't know you were that fucking close.
Oh my-
Jesus.
Okay, you need to breathe. All right. So, the only thing I want to talk about is the defensive coordinator from the San Francisco 49ers who was fired. Why? What? Okay, what's going on in San Francisco?
None of us know.
Why would you fire your defensive coordinator who had pretty good defense this year? They were in top 5, I mean, almost in every category. And you fire this guy. I'm not sure. Are they? So this is them blaming it on the defensive coordinator because they're afraid to fire Kyle Shanahan.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. Like, what? If anybody should go, it should have been Kyle Shanahan. Why? Because the motherfucker cannot fucking... Everybody talks about Mike McCarthy and how he can't finish a season or a game just with his play calling. Fucking McCarthy would have been fired after he won his first Super Bowl. Think about that for a minute, people. What the fuck are you talking about? Kyle Shanahan sucks.
He does.
He can get there, and then when the pressure is really, he can't. He's not very good. I'm not saying he's not a great play caller, but he chokes. It's not just one time or 2 times. This happened 3 fucking times. The last time they were in the Super Bowl, and then fucking last time he was the offensive coordinator for the Falcons.
And it's the offense that has let him down.
No, he puts the ball in the hands of people that should not have the ball in the hands of. This is just plain and simple. Now, did Kyle Shanahan mess up? No. Why would you fire the defensive coordinator? He's only been there for 1 year. It makes no sense to me. Makes no sense to me. Kind of makes me think that there's.
Well, look at the teams like the fucking Bengals, the Jaguars, and all of them. They get a coach in for a year, and they start to build something and start to see flashes of something that could be good if you keep that coach. But they sit there and go, yeah, you didn't win shit. Fuck out.
Either that or a lot of the problem with some of those teams that you just said, they hire them. They get hired to be head coaches. You're not wrong. In the Bengals one, you're not wrong, but...
They went through 4 coaches in 4 years.
The Bengals?
No.
Who?
Matt Patricia. Who was the last one?
The Lions.
There we go.
The Lions?
Yeah.
I tried telling everybody he was the fucking problem.
No, but I'm saying they went through 4 different coaches.
Yes.
In the span of 4 different years.
Yes.
Not giving the team any fucking chance.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not saying they should have stuck with Matt Patricia.
No.
But there were other coaches they had that started to build something and only got that year to try and do something with a team that was literally bottom of the barrel.
Well, Detroit was in the NFC Championship game this year.
This year, yes.
Well, that's...
But it took them... What she's saying is, look how long it took them to get back there, though.
Well, this is the first time this is the first time San Francisco's done that. But there are teams where they've had, and I get what you're saying, and you are right. The Bengals have had this problem. They hire fucking a defense, but they just were terrible drafters. They are. The Bears organization is what the Bengals was back in the 90s and late 80s, and 2000s and 2010s. When it comes to the Bengals.
That's the way.
Nope, that's okay. But I find it funny that they fire this guy who had he was top 5 in almost every category.
But Shanahan's better.
Well, I'm not saying Shanahan isn't better. I'm just surprised that they fired him.
They had to do something to make it look like they were working.
I don't know if this has anything to do with San Francisco falling off the... I don't know what's going on there. But I think it was a safe fire. It was either Shanahan or this guy. And it's like, well, he gave up the points at the end. Let's fire him. It's kind of... I have questions.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Sean.
Talk to me.
What do you think about the defensive coordinator that got fired? That's the other thing. So San Francisco fired their defensive coordinator after Super Bowl.
I do not think he should have got fired. I think defense did their fucking job. They came and worked.
They did, but they did give up the final points, and I think
that's fine.
No, and I get it. I'm with you 100%.
They kept the game low scoring.
With what they had on defense at that time, I mean... Patrick Mahomes can do some damage. That's
the last 2 visits to Kansas City was in the Super Bowl. What team made Patrick Mahomes move the way the defense did? The 49ers defense did. Oh God, I can't fucking talk. My head is.
There have been other teams that have gotten Patrick Mahomes to move out of the pocket. I mean, the Bengals did
Packers did it.
Packers did it. Ravens have done it.
Ravens.
I'm talking about at the Super Bowl. I'm not talking about like the
Bengals.
Nope, in the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay did it. Tampa Bay fucking destroyed. I thought Patrick Mahomes was never going to win another fucking playoff game. That's how bad he fucking looked in that game.
Yeah.
And it was because of Tampa Bay.
That was a loaded team.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think the defensive coordinator, like I said, like I mean, so what? He gave up the last points, and
I
I
agree.
mean, shit happens. But what he did throughout the whole game, if it wasn't for the defense, I'm pretty sure it would be no such thing as overtime.
Correct. That is, you are right. You're kind of arguing both sides,
Yes.
which is okay. So it's not, you can't, so essentially what Rayshawn is saying is you can't really blame the defensive coordinator. It's not like the players weren't executing. They just got out executed. And that's what made this game so good. Because San Francisco executed, Kansas City just out executed them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made that game so good. It was two coaches playing chess. And the one was just better than the other.
And that's just it, and that's the nature of the game. And if they needed to get rid of a coach, get rid of offense
I wouldn't get rid of the offense.
or head coach.
If anybody should have been, nobody should have been fired.
Like,
I'm
That's
just
my
saying-
point.
Yeah, no, this.
I agree, but I'm just saying, like, if they
If anybody
needed to-
should have gotten fired, it was the head coach.
yeah.
Because Kyle Shanahan is the play caller.
So, well, there you have it.
Exactly. But he doesn't call defense. That's the thing. I think that's why that's why I'm saying Kyle Shanahan. I mean, yeah, he may know what a defense is and how it operates, and but he doesn't know. He doesn't
that's
have a
not fair.
defensive mind to the point where he's gonna be like, so for this offense, I'm gonna do this. He knows what he needs to do against a certain defense. He doesn't know what he needs to do against a certain offense.
But that's not fair to say because
Sure it
okay, erase the overtime. Erase the overtime.
What? No, Rayshawn. I'm not disagreeing with you.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
No,
like,
but I'm
they
just
like
telling
that.
you. I'm just telling you why, if anybody, should have been Kyle Shanahan, because he should know every aspect of the game. But he's more offensive minded. He doesn't. It was the San Francisco defensive coordinator called the plays for them. Kyle Shanahan did score on his final drive. However, Kyle Shanahan is the head coach. He should know every aspect of the game. He's just offensive minded. He knows what he probably knows what defense to run against somebody, but he doesn't know how to tweak it to the finest points. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. I hear what you're saying.
I think either way there was going to be an overtime. I think either way it was going to be Kansas City was going to win. I think if they called the right plays, the perfect play, it came down to the players.
Yeah.
Which is what it needs to be in football. And Patrick Mahomes just showed that he is probably the best football player on the planet right now. I'm saying it.
Said it?
He's right now. He is name me another player better.
You really want me to name you another player that's better than Patrick Mahomes? And
Name
you're
me
talking
one.
offensive player only?
Yeah,
In the NFL,
it doesn't matter. Well, I don't think Patrick Mahomes can play defense, but name me a better football offensive player on the planet right now that is better than Patrick Mahomes.
I think Russell Wilson.
You're such a silly little boy.
Look at her face.
I mean, at one point he was one of the better players on the planet, but he's never been the best player on the planet.
Donovan McNabb plays better than Russell Wilson plays right now.
I'm going to tell you right now, Donovan McNabb for a couple of years was the best player on the planet on offense. Nobody could stop him. He could do it all. I don't know about catching, but he could run it and throw it.
Mm-hmm.
You saying on the planet? That means I gotta dig
everybody.
Into, like, grave and stuff like that.
Like those that play football right now. To this
Michael
day,
Vick.
there is nobody better on offense than Patrick Mahomes.
No,
At
in
any
the-
position.
in the NFL right now, I can't disagree with that.
At any position.
Michael Vick.
Michael Vick doesn't play right now.
I was
Oh,
gonna
you
say,
said
was
right
that
now, sorry.
I was gonna say, is that before or after the pit
In
bull
the
fighting?
current NFL, there is no better offensive player than Patrick Mahomes. I agree.
Not even fucking Aaron Rodgers. Everybody keeps saying Aaron Rodgers, but he's not. Trust
No,
me.
Aaron Rodgers.
He's
what is he,
good.
like,
He's
9 years
good.
old?
He's really fucking good, but he is not the best player on the planet right now. At one point, Aaron Rodgers was the best football player on the planet. It was just Tom Brady was winning more Super Bowls than Aaron Rodgers was.
What if
Mm-hmm.
there is a player, but he haven't unlocked?
The best defensive player on the planet right now is Aaron Donald.
I mean, what if
Aaron
all the
Donald.
other players do
I will
some
argue
DCs and
with
stuff
you
like that?
all day. Roquan
Aaron
Smith
Donald.
is not even close.
No, I wasn't even gonna go with Roquan Smith.
Isn't he defense player?
Oh my god.
That's what we're talking about now. The best
Oh, okay.
defensive
The
player.
best defensive player on the planet is
Yeah, I would have
Aaron
to go
Donald
with Fox.
from the Los Angeles Rams. You can't.
Fletcher
I
Cox.
don't know how Green Bay does it every single fucking time, but that guy is almost impossible to fucking stop. Joey Bosa is up there, but he's not as good as Aaron Donald is.
Hassan Reddick.
No,
No.
What?
no,
Come on.
nope,
Chase Young.
no.
Chase Young will never be that level.
Oh yeah, he'll get there.
He was.
He'll get there. He just needs to get on a different team. He'll get there.
Where the fuck else is he gonna go? He started with
He's
the
a
Commanders.
free agent after this year, so we'll find out. Or does he have 1 year left? He might have 1 year left. But anyway, no, Chase Young's really good. I think he's gonna be there. Joey Bosa's right there, but he's not the best defensive. He's not better than Aaron Donald is. No, not on defense. I mean, if you want to say Chase Young is the guy, I'm just gonna say, okay, you're wrong, but all right.
Nah, I already said my guy. I think Fletcher Cox is better
Who
than
do you,
Arnold.
Heather's thinking over here, and either that or she's sleeping. What do
I'm
you?
close to sleeping with this conversation.
Well, what do you think, Tim?
What, with the offensive player?
Oh my god.
Defensive.
Defensive?
Special teams.
That's
Ain't nobody on the Packers. That's for damn sure.
It's Justin Tucker's best special teams player, probably fucking ever.
Matthew Slater.
Matthew Slater, shut the fuck up.
Sound like an actor.
No, I just wanted to piss JP off.
No,
Defensive player, I would say Aaron Donald is probably one of the best, probably the best current defensive player in the NFL.
No,
yes.
he's on the
Really?
planet.
You're not going to argue with
On the
JP
planet.
on this one?
No,
Come on, Tim.
current
On
NFL,
the
I will
planet.
agree with him on, yeah.
On the planet, there is nobody better than Aaron Donald. Every
Yeah.
ask any player in the fucking NFL, they'll tell you he was the number one player coming in.
Yep. And he's maintained that position since he came into the
And
NFL.
and it's the top 100 football players of this year. He came in at number one. He sure didn't hurt his fucking chances of being number one again next year.
I
I'm
think
just saying. Go ahead.
I think T.J. Watt's right on his tail though.
TJ Watt's right there. I forget about him. J.J. Watt was on that path, and then injuries.
Yeah, I'm injured. I'm old. Leave me the fuck alone.
But anybody that doesn't say Justin Tucker, I just don't
for
have
special
time.
teams.
I just have no time for you anymore. I'm kidding.
I just want to
I'm not going to say Justin Tucker.
Who's better?
On special teams.
And I'm talking all of special teams. I'm not talking just one punter, one kicker. I'm talking all of it. And Matthew Slater is not.
I know he was just doing that just to piss you off.
No, it's all right.
I think I got a text message.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, okay. It wasn't. It was just me being in a hot seat.
Uh-huh.
It's okay. Look. There is no other when you.
Jake Elliott, I said it.
He's not as good as Justin Tucker.
Come on, man. That man, I think he only missed 2 field goals the entire season.
I think Justin Tucker's only missed 2 field goals in his entire fucking career. That's how good fucking Justin Tucker is. It's not
He's
true.
He's the only kicker to get the 99 pro rating in Madden.
Now I will say this.
Kicker? Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that hard to fucking do. Just put him at 99 awareness, 99 kick power, and 99 kick accuracy, and you got. Even if you put it at 99 on the kick power, and the kick accuracy, it will reach 99 at some point. But it'll always, like, if you go back to like 95, it'll be like 97 or so, 98, and you can't get there without being really close to 99. Kind of fucking funny.
But as a kicker in the 90s, that's I'm about to pitch you on the line. Shit.
Yeah. Now, is Jake Elliott good? Yes, he is.
Absolutely, he's one of the most.
He's one of the futures. He's one of the future kickers. Justin Tucker, let's keep in mind, he's only 32 years old. He's gonna be around for a little while. So. He's going to be the only way, and I don't think if I ever see Justin Tucker struggle kicking a 50-yarder, he needs to fucking retire.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The day Justin Tucker struggles to make 50-yard field goals,
Considering he set the record for 60.
He holds a record at 66 yards.
You think he will retire as a Raven?
Probably.
It's gonna be. It depends. We'll see.
That I will say that organization does very well to take care of its players and make sure its players are happy. The only one that was not fucking happy was Orlando. And that's because he wanted to switch positions and he was shit at the position he wanted to switch to. And Harbaugh told him, no, you need to stay here because this is the only position you know how to play.
New England has him on their roster right now. He's a good tackle, but he's a right tackle.
Yeah.
He's not a left tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Justin Tucker, man, I think he can punt. I think he can hold.
He
I
has
think
punted.
He can kick.
Mm-hmm.
I think the motherfucker can tackle.
He can. He has.
I best special teams athlete on the planet to me. There's nobody more accurate. I mean, he could kick a 65-yarder with everything on him, and he nails it right down the middle almost every time. I mean, this guy's good.
Just fucking around and playing before one of the Pro Bowl games, he hit a 78-yard field goal.
Well, that's kickoff.
No, just playing around during practice I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh.
There was 2 kickers this past weekend that were kicking the ball from 75 on a tee and knocking a fucking field goal through. I think if they really wanted to,
you saw him in the Pro Bowl too.
Yeah,
he won the tic-tac-toe round.
In 3 rounds.
Yeah.
This guy's that good, man.
He's that fucking accurate.
He's that good. He beat the guy had one. I think he was X's. He beat the guy that had O, and the guy that had O had 1 O up there.
Damn.
And you know who I think it was?
Elliott.
It wasn't Jake
Elliott.
Elliott. It wasn't no Jake Elliott. That dude.
I think it was because I think he was a Pro Bowl kicker this year. So, it's okay though.
My favorite little man though.
But I do want to talk, and I'm going to finish it with this. So there was a record broken at the Super Bowl twice. The same record was broken twice in one game. The kicker from Jake Moody for San Francisco kicked a 55-yarder.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison Butker kicked a 57-yarder.
Yeah.
Insane. So everything that San Francisco did, Kansas City's like, well, we could do it better. And they did it. It was the perfect what's the word I could use? It was the
Anything
perfect,
you can do, I can do better.
the perfect ebb and flow of the
Thank you,
game
Joe.
of a story to be told, if there was to be told. I mean, I can tell you right now what happened in this game. You can't write. Me and Tim. I sat here with Tim and said you can't write a
No,
movie.
it was Brendan Aubrey.
Oh. But anyway. So he was the kicker for the NFC, so it wasn't Jake Gallagher.
Mhm.
You can't write a movie script for that.
No.
But I mean, it's a story that could be told, and it's the perfect story. Insert here. Come on, man. That was a good game. But that being said, I don't have anything else. Heather, anything
Nope.
you'd like to add? Tim, anything?
No, I'm good.
Rayshawn?
I just want to say overall, it was a very competitive season.
Yes.
A very competitive season
Yep.
all around. Every team did their shit except for Carolina, but every team did what they needed to do.
You leave Tony Khan alone.
I mean,
No, that's no fun.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the next season. Looking forward to the new coordinators for Philadelphia, and to see how they will play a factor into like either the rise or the fall of the Philadelphia Eagles.
I think the Philadelphia Eagles are behind. Oh, real quick. So I did talk to an NFL scout. He said Green Bay. What do they got to do? He said linebacker, cornerback, or offensive lineman. I agree with that. For Philadelphia, he said they just don't need really too much.
We need young players.
You have young players though. I don't get what you mean.
You need
by
to
that.
stay
what
healthy
defense.
and you need to get
Yeah,
coordinated.
it's pretty much all he said. He said, if anything, you guys will probably go. Remember what I sent you for your draft pick?
You said.
That's exactly what they're probably going to go for. They might go for a safety. In the first,
yes,
there's
we need-
tons of safeties and cornerbacks. He essentially said probably for Baltimore, he said inside linebacker.
Going for depth.
That and replacing Patrick Queen because I don't think he's going to be in Baltimore.
Honestly, if he goes back to his little femboy ways and going, to tackle, bye-bye.
Well, no, I just think he's going to test free agency. Because some players do that. Not that Baltimore can't fucking re-sign him, but Patrick Queen, I don't think they exercised the option on him, so I think he's a free
They
agent.
did not.
So he's a free agent at the end of the year. It is what it is. They'll probably go for inside linebacker, maybe a safety, maybe a corner. They can just pick and choose what they need. They don't need really too much. For New England, he said
Everything.
Chicago's picking the draft. That's all he told me.
Yeah.
So then I did ask him about my team, and he said, I mean, they could use a safety or a corner. Maybe an inside linebacker. Don't need too much on offense. Well, they could use an offensive lineman, whether that be interior or tackle.
Probably tackle would be better.
I do think that's what they should do, but I don't know if there's going to be one there. So they're going to take the best player available,
Right.
and they're going to take a safety.
Which special teams needs help too, so they gotta look there.
I mean, they need help.
Everywhere.
They don't need help everywhere. They've got farther than I thought they were going to get this year. I mean, Jesus Christ. I said 5 wins maybe to start the year, and they ended up with 9 making the playoffs. I'm happy.
I remember exactly what you said at the start of this year. They're not going to do very well, so I'm not going to be that upset. Meanwhile,
Every now and... Oh, my God. Jesus fucking Christ. I know what I did. I don't know why you got to keep bringing that the fuck up. That situation I've already explained a million fucking times. I'm not going to go there again. Because I could have done the same fucking thing in the San Francisco game. Packers had a 10 fucking point lead and lose it. Oh well, I wasn't expecting them to win. that game because they were playing against one of the better offenses. That roster for San Francisco, they should be ashamed of themselves. There's no excuse that they shouldn't have won the fucking Super Bowl this year. That's all I'm going to fucking say.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
No excuse.
When not all your star players get a hand on the ball.
Well, they couldn't because Kansas City's defense was just that fucking good.
Yo, Kittle barely touched the ball, right?
Yeah, he had 2 touches or 3.
He had 4 touches
for the whole game.
2 yards
For the whole game.
for the whole game.
Praise.
Or four targets. He had 2 catches and 4 yards, I think. That's it.
For all 4 quarters.
Because they couldn't get him the ball.
And overtime.
They just couldn't get him the ball. And Kelsey ended up with 8 catches for 92 yards. And I said that, too. I'm like...
Can we talk about the memes? The Travis Kelce memes going around? Him yelling at Andy Reid.
Oh.
She's going to break up with me and she's going to write a song about it!
That's fucking funny. That's pretty good. But I think that in that moment, and I did want to talk, I think personally, the emotion of the game caught to him. And he was one of the only ones, like, they need to settle him the fuck down or else Kansas City's not winning this game. And whatever was said at halftime, and I said this, whatever was said at halftime, calmed. It's just calmed down.
Oh, I'm going to tell you right now, is probably Andy Reid going up to him saying, you ever fucking do that to me again, you're fucking benched for the rest of the game.
He almost benched fucking Mahomes because he threw his fucking helmet. So Andy Reid's not...
Andy Reid don't fuck around. Andy Reid is the one who trained John Harbaugh, so everybody knows.
Mike Holmgren taught him. He's from the Bill Walsh lineage of fucking coaches. Like, you want to talk about, like, I'll do a family tree of coaches. You won't.
The bloodline.
It'll blow your fucking mind. You don't know how many Bill Walsh guys are coaching in the NFL today. They are all over the fucking place. Still to this day. And a few of them are still coaching. I think there's still 2 coaches coaching that come from that lineage of coach. That's Mike McCarthy and Andy Reid. Might be more. So, yeah. I'm telling you, man. 2 of the better. And you know what the funny thing, Rayshawn? Andy Reid was the head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles for a very long time.
I did some digging on that.
He's gotten to the Super Bowl with Philadelphia.
And Bill Belichick, right?
Say it again, though?
I said Bill Belichick was the Eagle as well, right?
He was with Bill Parcells. He's of the Bill Parcells lineage.
Yeah, he's of the Bill Parcells tree.
So they're all over the fucking place too. The Bill Parcells fucking coaches, they're all over the... It's like the meeting of the fucking minds. Bill Walsh and Bill Parcells. One offensive and one defensive coach. Kind of fucking ironic, isn't it? Because the AFC was an offensive-minded league at one time, way back in the day. And I'm talking they're throwing the ball all over the place.
Right.
Like New York Jets were that team. They were throwing the ball all over the fucking place. In fact, they had, you know, and then they moved on from that. But then you had Bill Walsh, who was the innovator of the West Coast offense that you see all over the fucking place today. And then you have your air raids, which is a fucking opposite. I just wouldn't say opposite. They're incorporating that and the spread fucking offense of old that the Lions used to run.
Packers need to give that a try, it seems.
They've been doing it.
They keep going away from it.
Every team does it, though. Every team runs the same offense anymore. Except there's 2 different minds of people. It's hard to explain. But I'll explain that on another day. But I want to thank everybody for being here. We will be back for the draft. And we will... I'm going to do some sports history. Like everything that I've kind of talked about. I'm into doing those kinds of things. Besides playing Madden and, working. But I love doing those things, and it keeps my mind focused on. My brain's working like a million miles a fucking hour all the time. So
I wish Madden was cross plat.
it is. The new one is.
Yeah, the new one is.
Oh shit. Okay, so I'll consider buying, and then you and I could play.
I mean, are you going to get Madden 24 or are you going to wait for Madden 20? You can do cross-platform with Madden 24.
Huh.
I'm not against starting a league with you. I don't give a shit.
I'll connect with you on that.
Yep. Don't worry. I'll just you and me fucking around. I'm down.
Walking around with a football.
We stream it. I think it'd be fucking fun. Just can't stream your end, I don't think.
No, my connection. It's
No. Like if you were doing your game.
Oh yeah. I'm not streaming.
I'm not saying you. Oh my god, you're killing me. Anyway,
I'm losing you. What's happening?
you're not. So everybody, we'll be back for the draft for sure. And that's like the third week in April. Other than that, just look out for things. I'll be putting stuff out. I'll be working on some things. I want to thank Rayshawn, Tim, and Heather especially for a good year. None of our teams got as far as we wanted them to. One got as far as I thought they were going to. No. One got as far as I didn't realize that they were actually
There you
a
go.
really decent team, and that's Green Bay. I still think they're a year away. I still think they're a year or two away. But
I don't think the Eagles was going to the playoffs.
Oh, they'll go to the playoffs next year. They're gonna,
No, I'm talking about this season that just retired. I didn't think that they was going to go into the playoffs.
Rayshawn,
So
they were one of the first teams to clinch.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
look how they was playing, man.
They started 11-1.
Yeah.
They just injuries, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and they got injured late in the season, so
Yes, they
that
did.
also killed
But
them,
then you
so.
got, New England. You're gonna see what it's like to be built what it's going to be like without Bill Belichick.
I'm gonna say that fast 5 times.
You just tried. It didn't work.
I just tried. That's why I fucking reset myself 15 times. But go ahead, Tim.
No, I was about to. I knew what you were saying. They went as far as I was expecting to this year, anyways.
But I understand that. But I personally am looking forward to seeing not Bill Belichick on the sideline, but them without New England. I want to see what New England can do. I want to see if Robert Kraft can actually fucking own a football team.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to fucking see.
I would say this right now. I don't think they would have chosen him if they didn't have faith in him.
I'm not saying that Bill Belichick was already established. Ever since Bob Kraft has owned that team, Bill Belichick's been there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point.
Sorry
They've
about
been
that,
winners
Aaron. I don't know
every
which
year
one.
that Robert Kraft has owned that team. I think they have been winners. Except for a couple of times. Go ahead.
I don't know. No, I was talking to Aaron. I don't know which one of his 2 teams is best.
Saints
Out of
and
the
Broncos are his 2
Broncos.
teams.
Yeah, but I don't know which one is better than the next.
Broncos. Both teams will probably be. They'll be okay. So the Saints, I think they're gonna end up drafting a quarterback.
They're gonna have
Which
to.
no, they don't have to. I think they have Derek Carr for one more year. But
Yeah.
I can see that they're drafting for the future. They're probably going to. But you're going to see a lot of teams start to do what they did with Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Because the Packers, I think, have found their franchise quarterback again, which isn't good for the league, especially with really young fucking players. But you're going to see teams doing that when their quarterback starts getting older it starts, going through injuries and starts declining, they're going to draft the next guy. So don't see quarterback. You're going to see a lot of franchise quarterbacks move to different teams when they start getting older. You're going to start seeing that a lot.
You'll see ring chasing a lot too.
Yeah.
Yep. Tom Brady. What was he chasing? He came back again, like he didn't need to.
No, he didn't need to. He just wanted another ring.
He was chasing that lost glory.
He was chasing. Yeah. He was chasing, as Triple H put it in that fucking documentary with the Undertaker. He's chasing that dragon.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he. If you have not seen that fucking documentary, you need to see it. Really good. But the Saints, they need defense. They need defense, even though they have good young players. The players that are really, really fucking good are getting older. Mm-hmm. Denver, it depends on what they do. What do they need? What do they need? Is Russell Wilson the answer? Because they just signed him to an extension.
I don't know if he's going to be. I think he's getting too old.
You think he's getting too old? So why in the fuck would you sign that motherfucker to $140 million deal?
Because he's the face of the league.
Okay, so there's my point. You don't get rid of a guy, it's going to hurt your salary cap in the long run. This is why you don't fucking do this shit.
They should have just dropped him to quarterback 2 and bring quarterback 2 to quarterback 1. And
who is their quarterback 2 though?
But you're traded so Denver traded traded the fucking house to get him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Denver traded a shitload to get Russell Wilson.
The problem with that is they have no draft capital. They're going to be one of those teams that's going to be 4 years behind everybody else. Yet again, because they're... Hold on, and I'll let you go.
I was just going to ask you a question.
Yet again, you're going to be fighting for that. Who's going to be our franchise quarterback? It's the same thing I talked about with the Chicago Bears. They're doing this. They're chasing the next big thing. Justin Fields is the answer in Chicago. And I talked to that scout real quick. And he said, I could go either way. You're getting the same fucking player. Who has the better arm?
Fields.
No. Caleb Williams. He does have the better arm. Who's more mobile? Justin Fields. You can do more with Justin Fields. But how bad is Justin Fields' arm? I asked him. He says, it's pretty good. So then I would stay with Justin Fields. Caleb Williams isn't the answer. He said, pretty much. Not saying that he isn't that guy, but the Chicago Bears don't need a quarterback. That's the point. So I'm going to let Heather go with...
I had a question for you involving the Broncos, and you just branched right the fuck off.
Right, but I was still on that answer, so that's how I feel. But go ahead about the Broncos.
With the Broncos,
yes.
It wasn't just a whole bunch of draft capital. They drafted a bunch of players, too, didn't they? And depleted their depth chart.
So I don't think they have a first-round pick.
I know they don't have a first-round pick.
I don't think they have a first-round pick next year after that either.
Damn.
Because of what they got for Russell Wilson. What Seattle got was their tight end that they had just drafted. Mm-hmm. There goes an offensive weapon, because the kid is an offensive weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And then they traded away... Who else did they trade? I know they traded away one of their best defensive players to get Russell Wilson, and then a couple of firsts. I think that's what they gave up, so they don't have a
They
first
don't
round
have
pick.
shit.
Oh, they're going to get some picks in the draft,
but they're not going to be the player that they need.
I think they need to go for
sometimes
trade. They're not getting nothing out of the draft.
Right now, the quarterback the quarterback class is pretty deep. How many franchise quarterbacks are in that class? Potentially 5? Is Caleb Williams one of them? I think what Caleb Williams is going to run into is his attitude.
Yeah. He's going to be another Burrow, I think.
I'm not saying he's not good, but it's his attitude.
I think he's going to be another Joe Burrow.
Well, Joe Burrow is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league for years to come. But anyway, did that answer your question? Okay. Anybody got any other questions?
No, I'm good.
No, good.
And Sean Payton will turn it around. He's an offensive genius.
Honestly surprised he took another coaching job. I thought he was done coaching.
And I did too, but he wanted to coach. He wanted to coach Denver, I guess, because that's where he's at. He's a good coach. He'll turn it around.
He did pretty good with the Saints.
Well, I don't think Kansas City's. Patrick Mahomes is going to be around. Kansas City's not always going to be great.
No.
They're going to be good. They're always going to be right there, but they will be beatable. The whole thing is you have, and I've said this I don't know how many times. All these other 30 teams
still have to play. They just have to draft better. Because the way they used to do it, and I liken this with when Randy Moss was a rookie, he tore Green Bay a new asshole. And I've talked about this. When that happened, Green Bay the very next year went out and got 2 cornerbacks. And the very next year, I mean, they went defense heavy for their draft. Can't remember who they took in the first round. But then in the second round, they took another guy who was big and physical. Al Harris was on that team. When they did that, Randy Moss was great, but he wasn't that fucking 3-catch, 123-yard, 3-touchdown guy against Green Bay anymore. He would still have his way. He'd still get 8 catches for 90 yards or whatever, but he wouldn't get this. He wouldn't be demolishing him every game.
He wouldn't get these, high double-digit yards per catch stats is what I'm getting at. So, yeah. You just have to draft players to stop. That's all I'm getting at. That's how the NFL works. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here.
Yeah, it's a half-hour show.
I know.
Going on for an hour and a half.
I'm sorry. Y'all have a great night. We will be back for the draft. Stay safe. Be well. We'll see you in about a month and a half or so. Or 2.
5 weeks.
Yeah.
Something like that. NFL wants to go to being a 365 cycle.
So, everybody have a great night.
Mm-hmm.